Welcome to Newsworthy Stories with Jacqueline Jimenez. The story behind Alex Pizzani is absolutely remarkable. If you were at the Newsworthy Stories Bring Your Business to the Beach NetWORKcation, when he spoke on that panel, you were floored. I was only able to share a portion of it during the special report, but I really wanted you to understand his beginning to where he is now and why they call him the closer.
First of all, Elite Closer University is the name of his company. So he's a closer, okay? And he closes in a way that I would like, which, you know what it made me think? I'm thinking Shark Tank. I'm like, dude, how do you do Shark Tank? So Alex does Shark Tank. And that's why I want you to hear from him today. Wow.
Hi everybody, my name is Alex Pizzani. I was born here in South Florida. My father's Peruvian, his father's Italian, and my mom's Cuban, and her mom is from Spain. So I'm the United Nations. And I had a pretty rough start. The reason why the name of my company is called Elite Closer University is because I've been in sales all my life, literally. My first job was in sales. And it was because my mom dropped me out of high school at a very young age, and I remember that the last thing that I did was go straight to the school counselor because I had a panic attack. And I said, look, my mom took me out. I really want to stay, but I need to figure out what I can do right now for money. What do you advise me since I'm kind of being yanked out of school to help her out with money? And she told me, get into sales. You're good. She knew I was talkative and I was kind of like a little class clown. So she's like, get into sales because the opportunity in sales is limitless and it doesn't really require a degree. And that stuck in my mind forever. And my first job, I looked on a little flyer on a newspaper and they had a telemarketing position of selling magazines over the phone. I went, took a public bus, got there. That was my first job. And when I got there, it was a boiler room full of convicts on a work release program selling magazines. And that's how I started to learn sales. And I was the top guy there in a very crazy environment. You can only imagine the things I saw. Then I became these guys' manager. And then I went back to school, took night school. I moved away from home to do that. And then I got my degree. And I don't know, I'm just thinking about all that crap. And sorry about that. So yeah, I went through some rough stuff. And then I got into banking. I got my GED and my actual high school diploma. Got into banking. I got my first job in Washington Mutual Bank. And I moved my way up very quickly from a teller to a personal banker to eventually I was a branch manager for U.S. Century Bank. Then I got to become the vice president of business banking for Bank of America. I oversaw 5 of the banking centers for any client that at least managed $5 million and up. I was managing them. And I really loved that because I got to visit the business owners. I wasn't stuck in a cubicle like all the other bankers. I got to drive out, and only clients that had good portfolios, I would visit them and advise them on how to better manage their money or how to grow their company. And then a lot of the times they were asking me about sales things, and I would just get into it naturally because it's just something that I love to talk about. And then little by little, these business owners would reach out to me again after hours to basically give them advice. And then it just dawned on me I should just start basically doing that. But it didn't hit me immediately, so just naturally just started helping other people, and before you know it, I was managing a sales team that directly reported to me of over 5,000 people that I built on my own. And then from that, I did it for another company, and then my big time was working with a unicorn company called Vivint. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. It's a huge security and alarm company. I think it's the second largest one in the United States. Todd Peterson, the founder of Vivint, basically was needing help because they have a lot of sales kids that go out there that they're usually recruiting from Utah, which is where the company was founded, but a lot of them don't know how to speak Spanish, right? And Miami is a big Spanish community. Arizona, New York, Chicago, Cali, they weren't bringing in sales in those areas. So they talked to a regional manager to see how they could get me to maybe figure out something that we can do in Miami. The average manager had 5 people, and 1 week I brought 40 guys that were all bilingual. They were shocked by that. And then we started to expand into different markets. The guy flew me out to Utah, maybe 1 year after we had started to do this. There's still a recruiting program that is happening today that happens out of FIU that they do every summer. And he sold for $2 billion maybe 1 year after meeting me. Then after that, I got so that was like, I still didn't have Elite Closer University created yet because I didn't even know what I was doing or how to have a company. I was just consulting. I then got introduced to Sun Run Solar, And then I got told by everybody, oh, this guy knows how to build teams to go out there and knock and sell your product. But I'm like, I know more than just knocking, I know more than that. So I started helping out, Terminex, I started helping out public adjusters. I saw anybody that just had some type of business that was door to door, I was good at that. Then I got reached out to by a company in Doral called ProSpay, that they do credit card processing, but for high-level executive companies that process 50 to 100 million a month in credit cards. And they needed someone that can help them figure out how to talk to these CFOs or head of finance to make them make a switch because they could save them money on the processing. AI wasn't a thing at that time, but there were softwares out there that can give you that data. ZoomInfo is one of them, very expensive, but it costs $10,000 a year. I got into that. I started basically from scratch, no training, just self-taught, figuring out what are the right compelling subject lines, what are the right compelling emails. I was writing that, testing it. But for the first 2 months, I had a meeting with the CFO of Airbnb, with AT&T, with Blue Cross Blue Shield, with NASCAR, and I lined them up for the company. I realized my value at that point, and I decided I needed to start a company after that.
Yes.
So I started Elite Closer University because there were companies that they were also trying to lowball me because they were just startups and everybody wanted a piece of me. So I couldn't help out everybody. So I decided, let me create a course or a training material that I can basically teach a lot more people on how they can implement certain tools or processes to grow teams like how I have done, how to grow culture, how to manage that team, and get the result that they want. So I started doing these trainings, and then I started picking and choosing small to mid-sized companies that I would work with to elevate their sales. And then from doing so today, where I'm at now, is I pick and choose the companies that I like to work with that are on the same mission as me. And my mission is to help people. It's not just sales, because sales I can help out any company now at this point. I help the guy sell trout. I've never sold fish before in my life. But I found the procurement of the guy that buys seafood at BJ's, and guess what? He's in BJ's. So we started figuring things out like that. Now, what do I do today? What's my mission? I help people that are in need with my sales. So how do I do that? By finding companies that provide value in that essence. I'm here to feed the masses, to shelter the masses, and to give medicine to the masses that need it. And I said feed because I also have a bunch of food suppliers, and I know different food products that each one represents that are very unique and you probably wouldn't find it. For example, I have a guy that has a dairy farm in New Zealand, and his milk has a shelf life of over 9 months, which would be fantastic for South Florida, right? Because everybody has their milk in fridges out here. So what happens when a hurricane hits? What do you do there? So his New Zealand milk is actually even European grade. It's better than even our FDA grade. And I'm helping him push it into several different supermarket chains out here right now. So again, food, medicine, and shelter, but it doesn't mean that I'm blind to a good opportunity. I'm also working right now launching the Messi experience in New York, New Jersey. Somebody mentioned the finals, the FIFA World Cup. I don't watch soccer, but I do know who Messi is. I'm a Miami Heat fan. I love the Heat. So I love basketball, but yeah, I should know soccer, right? But no, I don't really watch it much, but I was reached out to by the marketing team to help them out. And I'm helping them get sponsorship packages to get companies' names on all of Messi's jerseys that are going to be at that event. They're going to open it, and it's only walking distance from the World Cup. Wait, I'll show it to you.
Okay, I'm going to Bahamas tomorrow. You want to go?
I was just there in December, and I just did my rounds to the 3 main hospitals there.
Well, you guys need to talk.
I'm going to
But I got to go to Nassau. We only did Freeport. We got to go to the
I'm
other.
going to Nassau tomorrow.
Okay, I would love that. Yeah.
Okay. NetWORKcation, everyone. NetWORKcation, everyone. Let's talk.
A lot of people didn't like the vehicle when it came out. They said, my horse can eat grass. Why do I got to buy gas for that car? Right? Then having those people riding horses. When electricity came out, man, I got a little gas line here. Why do I need that? When AOL came out and eBay came out, I'm not going to buy with credit cards. They're going to steal it. Now you got Macy's and Best Buy shutting down stores. What do you think AI is going to do? AI is taking over so many ways. And people think, oh, it's just a large language model thing where you can just type to. No, he said that he made an app. There's tons of AI tools that can make apps overnight with vibe coding now. I had a friend, I just told him the website to basically make an app. He has a staffing company that I consulted. He was one of my clients. He said, Alex, my uncle has a pet shop. And I know you mentioned this AI tool that can make a software. Do you think it can help me? Because he has a problem. His employees have already killed several animals because they didn't feed him the right proportion of food. So I want to make an app for him for my uncle so that he can track, he can literally have his employees just check on the app how much food and what. He made the app. You want to know what happened? The uncle loved it, and he went to a pet shop convention. I didn't even know they had that, right? There's another guy there, and he shows off the app. The other guy sees it. Where'd you get that? Oh, my nephew made it for me. How much does he want for that? Oh, I don't know. So he calls me. What do you think I should charge you? I was like, I don't know. Say 200. He said 200. The guy said, okay. I have 34 stores. So then my friend calls me that, hey man, I'm in the software business now. $200 per store, and I know you know how to find them. Find me more pet shops. I think I'm out of this whole staffing business. That's a true story, guys. That's how quickly AI can make you pivot, and that's how much opportunity is out there. I have an Excel sheet with 360 tools. Do you think I recommend people that all the time? No, they're always changing. I don't know every tool, just like your iPhone is not the same one that the first one came out. Yes, things are going to change. I do highly recommend you look into it, some way, shape, or form. How did I learn? I wasn't born with AI knowledge. I looked for that knowledge. I put myself in the room where I knew someone was talking about it. I looked for mentors that knew about it. You know, he's a great mentor right there. There's a lot of mentors, so you look for that. You pay for that knowledge, or if not, you find someone that can give you that to implement it into your company, some way, shape, or form to figure out what you're trying to win at. So that's a little bit about me. I don't know if you have any more questions.
You know, that's all I can really say. What Alex has done is just really fascinating to me. And I think that if his story is fascinating to you, I implore you to connect with him. He is doing amazing things. And to me, even though he's done all of this already, he's just beginning. So I'm looking forward to getting to know him better myself and even understanding, you know, that closer mentality. How powerful is that? And so I also want to share with you the next date for the next Bring Your Business to the Beach NetWORKcation is May 14th, 2026. We want you to be in the room.